the one to supply up to 80% of that growing demand. So we have been seeing the last few years, record crops, sizable growth, and that still needs to happen. Obviously, price is not going to be always giving the incentive to have the very, 7% growth, 6% growth like we had last year, but that will keep on happening in the years to come because the world needs it. Obviously, there are other areas of the globe like Russia, Ukraine, Africa that can also help supply that, but no need to say here, each one of these regions have their own challenges, so I won't go that direction. But that puts Brazil in a very privileged position, situation to feed the world, get this role that we have as a country in a very, I would say, also another big advantage that we have politically is that basically we have no enemies. We are a country that trades with everyone. That's something that we need to have as a nation, as a core value to keep on, I would say, performing on the social global role that we have.
Thank you, Paulo. And one number that's very impressive is that today Brazil is the second largest exporter of agri-food commodities in the world, and the first one is the United States. But we are growing our exports in 11% a year, and the US is growing 5 to 6% a year, which means that in a few years we are going to surpass the US. The cotton belt, the corn belt will not be in the Midwest of the States, but it will be here in Brazil because we are growing so fast with the double cropping, crop livestock integration. So the potential we have is very huge, and Cargill and Minerva are two examples of very successful companies in this area. So I'd like to make a question for both of you. Today we are talking about many risks, many challenges in a world that's very polarized. So what are the two biggest challenges you see, the two biggest risks you see today in the supply chains you operate? Some risks could be geopolitics, protectionism, climate change, illegality, as the Vice President said, so we are going to zero illegal deforestation. This is a challenge here in Brazil. Productivity, dependence on China, logistics. In your opinion, what are the two biggest risks in your business today?
Well, geopolitics is the major risk for everyone. So there's no way to say that in our field it's going to be different. We know the situation of the world. I just mentioned about the two countries that potentially could compete with us on growth for agriculture. They have their issue that impacts the entire globe. So this has significant importance, relevance for everyone. But in our case here in South America, Brazil specifically, and Argentina, in a minor degree, but also for Argentina, that becomes a great opportunity. So it's the biggest risk for the overall global food system, but for this specific region, it's a great opportunity. And the second one, I would like to highlight, by the way, what the Vice President just mentioned about Brazilian governments fighting illegal deforestation. That's a key thing. There's no excuse for us being so developed on the agricultural side to still be, cutting forests or gaining acreage on top of native biomes. So great to see that happening, and that's a must. Because the other big risk that we have is what I will call eco-protectionism, which is other countries who are also investing on decarbonizing, investing on somehow changing their consumer good products in a way to make it more sustainable environmentally wise. Doesn't make any sense for us to have, I would say, production habits or land usage habits that go against that. We cannot afford to have global customers, even if, just like in minerals, they only consume a small portion of our total exports, but are very relevant, very influential on setting the trends. So it doesn't make any sense for us to fight, hey, why are they talking about land use here? It's our land, we do whatever we want. We share a climate, we share the world. So we need to pay attention and to understand that's what the world wants, and we are supplying to the globe. So we need to be cautious and aware about the ecological demands that the world currently has. And in case you don't comply with that, they will put protectionist measures against us. It was mentioned here about the IRA and several other, Europe, now the UDR. which are, they have a trend to be more ecologically friendly, but they are can be very strict commercial barriers unless you play it well.